Please help me with a warm introduction of Julie Tran.
Very nice introduction.
Good morning. How are we doing? Very happy about the breakfast. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie. I'm your Government Affairs Field Rep from C.A.R. We are the people that you hire to protect you from the people that you elected or didn't elect. So it is a really interesting day for me to speak to you today about government affairs, because I think all of you have heard on the news or driving over, there has been some proposals at the federal level with regards to the budget and how that affects you. Well, the first thing I focused on was the proposed cut to HUD, to the Housing and Urban Development Department. There is a proposed $6 billion cut to HUD, otherwise known as 13%. And they are proposing to cut a very important program that we use here in California to build affordable housing. And that is the Community Development Block Grant Program. If we were to lose that funding, California is going to have to find other ways to fund the building of more housing. And so that affects you in the supply of housing you're able to sell. The amount of homelessness we're dealing with is astronomical. So this is a very important issue that we're going to be focused on dealing with at C.A.R. as well. So enough about federal stuff. I do want to do a lot of, I want to focus on what we're doing at the state level to help you do business, to help realtor and realtor issues get to the table in Sacramento. Right, so the first thing I want to highlight is how we actually work to affect change at the state legislature in Sacramento. When a bill is proposed, can anyone tell me who decides at C.A.R., who actually makes the decision whether we oppose or support or only watch proposed legislation?
Membership at the meeting.
Members, yes. I do have. It's a squeeze toy. It's a super realtor female squeeze toy. Highly coveted. I know. Surprise. Now you'll participate a lot more. So yes, it is a very member-driven association. We have your support in everything that we do. And so last year, when then Assembly Member Tony Atkins proposed a $75 recording fee on every real estate document, C.A.R. worked with her office. We didn't say, no, scrap the bill altogether. We worked with her office to make sure that they were aware that she cannot burden real estate transactions. So instead of a $75 recording fee for every single real estate document with transactional documents included, we had amendments put in that took out transaction documents. So that means she is proposing to have this fee on every other real estate transaction or real estate document, as in title changes, deeds, things like that, things that don't affect your ability to sell a house. This fee is proposed so that we can fund a governing board, a board of people to allocate funds from the Housing Trust Fund to build more development, to build more supply for you to be able to sell. And this governing board is actually going to comprise of people from our industry. This is how we work together with the government to promote housing interests, homeowner interests, and realtor interests, right? So that bill is now reintroduced in the state Senate. California is going to have to really seriously consider this bill because we are at a loss for revenue. We are looking for more revenue, and this is one of the ways to do it without overburdening our realtors. And so now it is called Senate Bill 2, introduced by Senator Tony Atkins, and C.A.R. is in favor of it. Now, there are two bills I want to bring up that we are opposed to, that we are actively working against, that we are actively seeking amendments to. The first one is Assembly Bill 71. AB 71, introduced by Assemblymember Chu. And that bill would eliminate the MID, the mortgage interest deduction. Does everyone know what that is? Right, just really quickly for those who don't know, it's the interest you pay on your mortgage on an annual basis. That MID, that deduction, you can deduct it from your tax return, right? It's a very popular program. So this bill, AB 71, is proposing to eliminate the MID for second homes. That means investment properties. That means people's retirement plans. The funding is proposed to go to fund more affordable housing, which we do support. However, we do not support it being done on the backs of realtors, right? So we are opposed to the funding mechanism of AB 71. Last week, we just had a red alert on it. Does anyone know what a red alert is? Yes. Can someone tell me what it is for a prize? A C.A.R. red alert?
It's where we get an email and a call.
Yes. Can I throw this to you? That was close. That was close. That was very good. Yes. It is an email we send out when there is a pressing issue in the state legislature that we need our realtors to speak out on. So AB 71, the bill that we're opposing, is currently still in committee. Bills, when they are proposed, they have to go through certain committees before hitting the floor for a full vote by the whole body of the assembly members or the senators. So last week, it just passed out of the Community and Housing Development Committee into the Taxation Committee. And that's where we thought, okay, we really need this committee to hear our realtors. So over 50 letters were sent from associations, not from individual members. We do individual members. We mobilize you guys when there is a full vote. But for committees, we get associations to send letters to assembly members to make sure that they are aware realtors are opposed to the funding mechanism of AB 71. And so we will work with them to find other streams of revenue because affordable housing is very important. The next bill has to do with Costa-Hawkins. Does anyone know what the Costa-Hawkins Act is? Anybody? Any guesses? No prize. Sorry. I'll give the prize to myself. The Costa-Hawkins Act was enacted about 20 years ago, and it is a moratorium. It is a restriction on rent control. Right? So that's kind of a double negative. It suppresses rent control. So basically, it says that properties that are built after 1995 cannot be rent controlled, all right? Properties that are single-family unit homes cannot be rent controlled. And properties that were recently vacated, that is, left by the previous tenant and has a new tenant, cannot be rent controlled, right? Rent control is a reach into private property rights that has people, homeowners, investors, kind of second guessing whether or not to buy a property if it is in an area that is rent controlled. So to give an example of how important Costa-Hawkins is right now, in San Francisco, we know that it's a very highly rent controlled area, yes? But only 35% of rental units in San Francisco are in rent control. That is because of Costa-Hawkins. All right, so AB 1506, introduced by Assemblymember Bloom, would repeal Costa-Hawkins. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? They want to take away Costa-Hawkins. Assemblymember Bloom is proposing to be able to impose rent control wherever he pleases, wherever the city and municipalities deem, necessary. So, was that a question? Yeah. The name of the person who wants to impose. Assemblymember Bloom. So that's AB 1506, okay? So that bill, C.A.R. is currently opposed to as well. We are in in communication with his office. We're writing letters. Our lobbyists in Sacramento are talking to his staff to let him know this is not a good idea. Of course, we want to have houses be more affordable, to have rental units be more affordable, but that is a supply issue and not a market issue. We need to increase supply in order to meet the growing demands of California, of people moving into California. So that is another bill we're going to be focusing on. So how can you help? This is a very interesting time. You know that yesterday the Feds just raised interest rates. It went from a range of 0.5% to a range of 0.75 to 1%, right? That is going to affect people being able to afford their mortgages. And so we are going to work extra hard to make sure that California is implementing more and more programs to help home buyers, to help people be able to buy their homes, to rent their homes, to stay in their homes. So that is where you come in. That is where you can be armed with knowledge to help your clients make the most educated choices as possible. We have a program at C.A.R., Government Affairs. It's called our Legislative Liaison Program. It's a mailing program where you get 2 emails a month. It's not that much. I know you get a lot of emails from C.A.R., but these ones are important. These 2 emails will tell you which bills are going through the state legislature, which bills are about to get signed, and what will affect you immediately, because I know a lot of people pay attention to national politics, to what's going on CNN, but things that get passed on the national level takes a lot of time for you to actually see the effect. Things that get passed at the state level either takes effect immediately or within the year. So that's why I really encourage you to become legislative liaison. Just give me your business card. I will make sure you get signed up. The next thing you can do is C.A.R. is a really great voice for realtors and homeowners all throughout California. We're second in size only to the California Teachers Association. That means what we have to say, our research, our opinions carry a lot of weight with the governor, with the state legislatures. And that is because, not only because of you, because you're very active and vocal, but because we're very heavily financed by you as well. So the RAF, the Realtor Action Fund, is something that we use for our political activities, for our way of saying, okay, if you're not going to be a friendly council member, a friendly assembly member to us, if you're going to keep introducing bills that hurt our realtors, we will make sure to campaign against you in the upcoming elections. And this carries a lot of weight with lawmakers, to be able to say we have the ability to take you out of office, to support someone who will be better for us than you. And that's what the RAF is used for, okay? Last week, we just had the Los Angeles County elections, and we were able to defeat Measure S. Does anyone, we were paying attention to that. We knew what Measure S would have done. It would have put a 2-year moratorium on any kind of building in LA County. Right, so that effort was also led by realtors using RAF money. So if you have time, we do have contribution forms to the RAF. The introductory contribution per year for 1 year is only $20. So you could write a check, you could go online. We don't take cash, unfortunately, but we do, we'll work with you. There's also a payment plan if you don't want to front up all the money right now. I do have one last Dolly, for anyone who can answer a real estate question that I was talking about. What does the MID stand for? Oh my gosh, who do I give it to? Just throw it in the air. I just throw it in the air. This is fun. Oh! Okay. Oh, she's a lucky winner. Okay. Well, does anyone have any questions for me while I'm here? Can anyone tell me Who here has attended Legislative Day? Yes. That's really good. That's really good. And you're planning to attend again this year? Absolutely. This year, Legislative Day is May 3rd, and it is a chance for you and 2,000 realtors to go to Sacramento with, C.A.R., members of N.A.R., and all the other realtors across California. We're going to gather in Sacramento and clog up the halls of our state capitol and make the legislators listen to us. It is a beauty. I used to work for the state senate. I was there when my office was run over by 35 realtors, and trust me, that made an impact on my day. We knew exactly what realtors and homeowners were thinking from there on out. And also, there's a very nice legislative reception where we have confirmed Governor Jerry Brown will be our speaker. Yes. And so, if you are a $148 contributor to the RAF, you get to attend that reception as well, 148, as well as meet all of the other state legislators who represent you. So meet them on a personal basis. Yes?
Billy Bob Bodkin, past president of this association twice. The biggest issue facing us is still water in the state of California. And our governor in 1976, I believe it was, when he was elected, first time stopped the construction of 2 major dams. We need dams in this country. We don't need trains. I don't know if you're
Yeah, we do need a lot of infrastructure.
okay, but I don't know if you're aware of this, but all the cities around us here, when a project went through to get approved in this recent drought, the cities all threw it back to the water companies and said, make sure you have enough water to build. So if we don't get water and construction of those dams built, like the Auburn Dam,
Right.
that sits there about a third completed
Right.
and has since 1976, we're going to be dead in the next drought. We need water, and we need to get rid of our governor's attitude on not building dams.
I hear you, Bob. I hear you. Yes. We do have lobbyists with C.A.R. in Sacramento who focus on land use. And so anytime an issue like that comes across the table, we do have someone on it right away. Okay. Any other questions for me? Well, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure.